National Police Commissioner Khehla Sitole is on his way out of that post after months of speculation about his future in the service. The presidency says his employment has been terminated by mutual agreement with President Cyril Ramaphosa and is in the best interests of the country. Sitole and Police Minister Mpho Kwinika had been at loggerheads for some time now. Just recently, Khehla accused EFF leader Julius Malema and Sitole of plotting to have him fired. Sitole then denied those accusations and said that he met with Malema to discuss security concerns around the EFF leader about 2 years ago now. Well then, during the release of the third quarter crime stats last week, Sitole emphasized that he had respect for the police minister, and we can bring up part of how he explained their feeling that their differences had been, quote, exaggerated.
And when things are clarified, nothing is personal. And nothing is about anyone. It's more about subs and it's more about the country. And we put the country's interest at heart. And I also want to further indicate that, as the minister explains, to me, from a career corps perspective, he always remains the minister, no matter what he says and what he does. And from a discipline's point of view, I can never disrespect him.
Let's talk more then about the announcement tonight by the presidency, confirmation that Khehla Sitole will soon be out as the country's police commissioner. Speak to the Secretary General of the Independent Policing Union of South Africa, Mpho Kwinika. Mpho, a very good evening to you. Welcome to News at Prime. So Khehla Sitole is due to leave at the end of March. He was just saying in the clip that we played that he and the police minister, Mpho Kwinika, while they've disagreed quite publicly, in fact, there was a respect and it wasn't personal. But I wonder if you believe the breakdown of that relationship is why he's ultimately been let go.
Good evening to South Africans. IPUSA welcomes the sacking of the current National Commissioner of Police. It was inevitable, and especially when you look at the way things pan out since he took office. He hasn't had, or he never had, an opportunity to plan and to deal with crime in this country. Since he took office, the crime stats were high. We have seen his involvement in politics. We have continued to see the July insurgencies, even terrorism, which was aimed at destroying state infrastructure. This is part of the issues which had made the president to consider that he should be removed from office in the best interest of the country.
But what about the many questions about his suitability? So you mentioned the issue of crime, right? And in the handling of the unrest in July, he and the police minister, Mpho Kwinika, basically traded blame about whose inaction led to police ultimately losing control of what was happening in Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal. Is him leaving by mutual agreement with the presidency enough as far as accountability is concerned?
Accountability. The person who is responsible and an accountant, or a person who the person who leads the police operationally is the National Commissioner of Police. He has got his executive authority who is responsible for that department. It is the Minister of Police. So anything that goes wrong operationally cannot be attributed to the executive authority who is the politician in that department. He has to take the fall for the poor showing of the police in all of those issues which have been mentioned, and the public has seen and even have a knowledge of what has happened.
And on what you were saying, what the panel report said when it was finally received by the presidency was that one of the issues that we need to address as a country is clarity in exactly what you're pointing out, clarity in the role and duties of the police minister and the commissioner. So even if the next person comes in, there is still a need for that process to happen, because we cannot sit with a commissioner and a minister who are constantly batting heads.
There isn't any confusion there. I think that is one liner that we need to carefully look at it. The duties of the two officials are different, are completely different. But I want to take South Africans back. Remember, I saw Minister of Police, Khehla, making many decisions in the presence of the National Commissioner of Police. He never complained about that. There is also an issue of grabber, the affidavit which he has written in the quest to have the Constitutional Court, listen to his case. In that affidavit, he confirmed that he did bought there or secured the buying of the grabber machine. But he attributes that to the Minister of Police. The buying, supply chain, command and control, those are the responsibilities of the National Commissioner of Police. And he cannot abdicate that responsibility because the Minister of Police has said this or said that. He has to count.
Let me ask you then, is it inaction on Sitole's part or incompetence or ultimately an over-eagerness and overreach by Minister Khehla that's led to the breakdown? And I'll then add this example. Just this week, there was the shootout between police and the alleged cash and transit robbers in Rosettenville. First there at top level in the police service on an operational day was the minister, and we didn't see the commissioner.
Well, he might have decided not to be there, but it is up to his office to decide as to what is it that he needs to do in such situations. It's not an overreaching. Tembekile, if you are responsible for a certain department and you realize that those that are employed to do a certain work are not doing their job, will you sit down and fold your arms and say, oh, well, this is the duty of someone else who is not willing to do the job? What do? You fold your sleeves and you get down to work. And I think this is what the minister is doing. And not only him, I think you must go back to Khehla when he went to Western and he said the following words, that police officials are eating from the pockets of the criminals. Please go and look above the shoulders of that minister. The National Commissioner of Police was giggling. That is not his job to giggle. It was his job to protect those police officers because it wasn't true what the minister was saying. It is in his nature that he allows politicians to live in. It hasn't, we don't remember, go to Westbury issues. When people were dying there, the gangsters killing people, go and watch those videos. You will see that it was forever, never there.
Quick final one then. I asked this question earlier to another policing union about going ahead. We're expecting the announcement in due course of a replacement for Khehla Sitole. What do you want the president to factor into that appointment? What sort of commissioner do we need going forward?
We need to professionalize the service. The president has a duty in terms of the Constitution to appoint a man or a woman who is honest and competent to be the National Commissioner of Police. How does he do that? The National Development Plan, Vision 2030, it says the following, that the president shall appoint a team of experts, which is going to shortlist the top 3 police officials, whom out of them, the president shall appoint a national commissioner of police. This is what IPUSA would want to see happening moving forward. Let us remove politics from the service and professionalize the institution so that South Africans can get the best out of it.
Thank you very much for that. Mpho Kwinika is the Secretary General of the Independent Policing Union of South Africa. Thank you for your time, sir.